So one of the easiest ways to change up the look of your watch is with a new band. But picking a new one can sometimes feel a little bit overwhelming, just given the amount of choices out there. And so what I've done is put together a pretty complete collection of watch bands. And I think the best framework to use to think about this is to really break them down into 5 major categories based on the materials that are used. And we'll cover the pros and the cons of each category. So let's first get some terminology out of the way. The umbrella term here would be watch bands, and bands made of metal are called bracelets. And these are typically stainless steel. On the other side, we have soft watch bands, which we'll call straps. And the most common, most popular material would, of course, be leather straps. But you also have straps made of nylon, which are your NATOs and your Perlons and such. We also have rubber or silicone or plastic watch straps. And lastly, we have canvas straps, which are made of fabric. But just know that this list is designed to be complete but not exhaustive. And so we'll be skipping some of the more exotic things. I mean, you can make watch bands out of anything, but we're not talking about titanium, we're not talking about stingray, not talking about baby giraffes or platypus, because ain't nobody got time for that. So let's start with bracelets. The best way to think about bracelets is based on the size of the links. A lot of the names used are derived from Rolex. First, we have the oyster bracelet, which is probably the most common type. What you can see is that each link has 3 different sections, one large central section with 2 smaller side sections. Oyster bracelets give a watch a modern and robust aesthetic. The President's bracelet is a more dressy take on the oyster with its compact, rounded links. This bracelet got its name because it accompanied the day date that Rolex gifted to Eisenhower in 1956. Next, we have the Jubilee. This bracelet breaks up the large middle section into 3 small subsections. For that reason, Jubilees can be more conforming and comfortable on the wrist and can give a watch a more dressy or jewelry-like appearance. The Beads of Rice bracelet will have many small polished and rounded links in the middle section, resembling beads of rice. The engineer style bracelet will have 5 sections per link, and they will be the same size and flattened. And lastly, we have the mesh bracelet, where the links are so small it resembles chainmail. These are very comfortable because they're almost like a fabric weaved with metal. Mesh bracelets have a casual and somewhat retro look about them. When the mesh becomes really fine, we call it a Milanese bracelet. And there you have it. I would say the pros of a bracelet include that they're strong, they're cool to the touch, and they can increase a watch's wrist presence. Cons, they can be heavy and sometimes a little blingy. If you're buying a new watch, you should always try to get it on the bracelet because the end links are specific to the watch head and it'd be more expensive to get it separately later. Be aware of your lug width. Most popularly for men, it's going to be 20 millimeters, but I have watches between 18 and 22. Also be aware of how they taper. Bands could start out at 20, but it might go down to 18, 16, or even 14 at the buckle. So it depends on how much wrist presence you're looking for. Next, we come to leather straps. As you can see, leather comes in different stains achieved during the tanning process. Now, leather can have a natural texture based on the animal it's from, or be artificially embossed with a print that resembles that animal's skin. This one, for example, is printed with a buffalo grain. Compare that with this natural top grain calf leather that is vegetable tanned. Tanning with vegetable pigments takes longer but gives a lighter, more natural coloration compared to industrial chrome tanning. Here is a suede leather strap. Suede is from a deeper cut of leather where the skin fibers are looser, thus giving it that fuzzy surface. We'll talk more about cuts of leather in a second. This is an alligator or crocodile print. I can't tell the difference no matter how much Nature Channel I watch, but the ridges correspond to scales from the animal. This is a lizard style embossing. Your lizard and croc style straps tend to be the most formal or dressy appearing of the leather options. This is a genuine ostrich leather strap. You can see the small brown bumps on the surface, and they correspond with feather follicles from the animal. Lastly, we come to shell cordovan, which is from the rump of a horse. It's more expensive because you only get 2 small pieces per hide. Shell cordovan is special amongst leathers because of how tightly the fibers are packed. This makes shell strong, pliable, and naturally water resistant, and it gives it that shiny looking surface. Now, I want to thank Mike at Hobens for sending this one over for the video. They're local to me and are just good people. Now, beyond the type of animal hide, leather straps also come in a number of styles. Here we have a rally strap, which has perforated holes on it for better ventilation during a race. A Flieger style strap has rivets on them for extra security at the spring bar end of the strap. This is just another variation of the aviation style strap. Now, leather straps also come in NATO styles. Here we have a single pass, as well as an example of a double pass leather NATO. The Boon strap was conceived for extreme temperature conditions, as to insulate the wearer from the metal watch case. Today it's an acquired taste, but can certainly lend some extra presence on the wrist. One thing to be aware of is the thickness of the strap. This one is 3mm, which actually feels a lot thicker than this one, which is 2mm, and along with its thinner stitching feels a lot dressier. Speaking of stitching, they can come in different styles as well. This one has it on the edge, whereas the stitching on this one is at the end of the strap, which I feel like highlights the white dial of this watch. Now, when it comes to cuts of leather, look at this diagram. The top is what's called the grain side, and the bottom is the flesh side. So from the top, you have full grain, which looks the most natural, but can sometimes include skin imperfections, such as scars or follicles. If you shave that surface off, you get top grain, which is cleaner, but still high grade because the fibers remain dense there. If you go down further, you get into the corium, which has looser fibers, and this is where suede comes from. Now, be aware of what's called genuine leather, which is a marketing gimmick. Genuine leather is often a low-quality, deeper cut of leather that's treated to look good, but doesn't hold up as well over time. To illustrate this, take a look at these 3 rally straps. The one on the left is a $20 genuine leather strap. As you can see, it lacks any real leather texture, is kind of floppy and flimsy. The middle one costs $45 and is slightly better cut, so it's thicker, it's got more structure, but still just a bit stiff and rubbery. The last one is an $80 full grain leather strap. It's firm but pliable and has a nice surface texture that will take on more character as it ages. I would say the pros of a leather strap are its classic look and its comfort on the wrist. As far as cons, they can wear out quicker than other types, and many are not water resistant. Now, when it comes to quick release spring bars, they obviously make it easier for you to switch straps, but when they get old, they often become kind of stiff and they are not as springy anymore, so they don't feel as secure, locked in place on the head of the watch. So it's sort of a trade-off there. Now onto straps made of nylon. Here we have a NATO, a Zulu, a spandex, and a Perlon strap. The NATO strap is derived from the G10 strap, initially made for British troops in the 1970s. It features this double loop. This way, even if one of the spring bars break, the watch head will not fall off the strap. The NATO strap definitely adds some bulk and character on the wrist. Zulu straps are basically single-pass NATOs, made with thicker fabric with rounded hardware. This is a spandex nylon strap. It's super comfortable, due to its elasticity and fabric-like texture. However, just don't expect it to hold down a very heavy watch head while you jog, for example. The Perlon strap is extra light and breathable. It is also infinitely adjustable due to not needing strap holes, thus being a good low-profile summer option. I would say the pros of nylon straps include their strength as well as their waterproof characteristics. As far as cons go, NATO straps can be a bit bulky, and nylon straps can fray at the edges, especially when they get older. When it comes to sort of more colorful watch bands, oftentimes people say the strategy is to find an accent color on the face of the watch and sort of play off of that with the band to accentuate it. I also find that more complicated looking watches are often better paired with simpler bands, and simpler looking dials can get away with a fancier band because it provides a little bit more visual interest. But we're quickly getting into the realm of personal taste. So let's move on to rubber, silicone, and plastic straps. Rubber straps are flexible and thus often found on dive watches. You can see that this accordion section allows some stretch of the strap around a wetsuit as things expand and contract underwater. Here it is on the wrist. Rubber straps are very sporty and comfortable. This is a silicone strap, which feels much like rubber but is actually a synthetic material. This is a cheap plastic strap. It's not really worth talking about. Pros of rubber straps are that they're stretchy and waterproof. The major con of rubber straps is their lack of breathability, which can get a bit sweaty in the summer. Lastly, we have bands made of fabric. The most common fabric used is canvas because it is economical and it's durable. Here is a canvas strap. These straps lend a rugged, militaristic persona to your watch. They can also get wet and will dry out quickly. Another fabric you might hear about is sailcloth. Now, traditionally, sailcloth was made of cotton, but modern sailcloth are nylon. In any case, they tend to be tough and water resistant. This is a custom fabric strap made from a tweed-like material. You definitely don't want to get this one dirty. But I will also use it to demonstrate a deployant clasp. Deployants, compared to normal buckles, make it easier to take a watch on or off, but they're also more difficult to adjust. The pros of a fabric strap is certainly their casual and comfortable nature. Cons are that they can easily trap dirt and wear out rather quickly. So let's review. Watch bands break down into bracelets and straps. Bracelets are typically stainless steel, but can sometimes be made from more rare metals, such as titanium or gold. Straps, on the other hand, are typically made from leather, nylon, rubber, or fabrics, such as canvas. Okay guys, that is your complete guide to watch bands. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up below, and if you want to see more like it, hit that subscribe button, and you'll also help out the channel. Thank you. I'll go ahead and put a list of websites where I like to shop for watch bands in the description below. So thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.